Welcome back to another episode of
The Gathering Place Podcast,
where I am your host, Joe Seaman, a real estate agent here in the Augusta, Georgia, North Augusta, Aiken, South Carolina market. I'm co-hosted by my lovely bride of 22 years. All right. I almost said something different. I don't need to do those impromptu introductions.
Yeah, shouldn't do that.
Anyways, my lovely bride, Miss Hope, she is the chaos coordinator and the Jill of all trades and always keeps us on our toes.
Oh, goodness.
So now we're into like part 2 of just talking about social media.
Yes. So sorry. I totally abruptly stopped you on the last one.
I kind of stopped.
It's a really good conversation.
Last week's podcast about social media. So I kind of led into why do you post on social media? And you said basically it's like what you're feeling that day and the emotion you're in that day and what else?
Like, honestly, it's just to share that moment. There's a lot more that I do not share on social media than I do. In fact, we just got back.
But I think a lot of people think that we share our entire lives on social media,
don't,
and there's not.
No,
there's a snippet. There's a small
It's
snippet.
probably like 5%. I literally was at the beach last week with my sister-in-law and my niece and my nephew, and I have so many memories, and I have so many. I honestly didn't even take pictures because I was so involved in my time with them. So I don't share everything. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's delayed. 100% it's usually delayed because I don't want people to know where I'm at or what I'm doing or,
I tell people that all the time. You never know where I'm at, especially if you're just looking on my social media.
Right.
You have no idea if I'm here, if I'm in the mountains, or if I'm in California, or if I'm in Key West.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
You never know. And I think that's smart, I think everyone should actually be that way. But to answer your question, for me personally, why do I share? I share my emotion at that moment. I've really thought about that a lot. And there's a lot of things I haven't shared on social media because I'm like, my heart's not right. Probably don't want to share that. But in this, it's my emotion at the moment, whether I'm super happy and I'm like, hey, look here, Joe and I are out to dinner, we're on date night, whatever, or
which is probably not being posted in the moment.
Right. Or, sorry, I just hit that. Or, I'm in Florida with Kess, plants, or I'm, at Murray with Cade, or, Keaton and Laura are here, or whatever. I'll share those, or then I'll share whatever, like right now, true crime, whatever, in that moment. If something's really bothering me, I'll share it. But you asked a question and you were like, on the last podcast, and you were like, why do you think a lot of people do? It's for attention. I mean, ultimately.
So I think so. And there's nothing wrong. Like, everybody has to run their own social media.
Because ultimately, sharing our opinion or even our emotion at the moment is for attention.
Yes, but there are social media posts that I have seen to where people are literally at a vacation of a lifetime or on a cruise or something, and they're having to think that they need to post play by play. And I'm just thinking, live in the moment.
Yeah.
Back up. It doesn't matter if the world knows that you're on this cruise or not.
You can do a dump at the end of it, right?
You can do a dump at the end. You can maybe take a few minutes at the end of the day and just post, but you literally see these people. And I'm not judging, but I'm just live in the moment, because you don't need to have your world revolve around social media. Because it's not real life.
No, it's not.
Just like we just said, we can go a week or two or a month and maybe post a picture of a month ago,
right,
of us being down in Beaufort or something.
You post more on a daily from a business perspective.
I do it from trying to provide that value. Now, whether y'all get value out of it or not, I don't know. But I think that what I post on a daily basis
is to
provide some sort of value to our followers. And basically, the way I get this content is from working one of these
Right.
questions or situations or something.
Which
I just have a
is-
running list
Yes.
that I copy and paste and send to Drew, and it's questions or it's topics or whatever it might be through real life situations.
I
Because
literally had this conversation with our nieces, two of our nieces, and our oldest this weekend. We were talking about social media and authenticity and becoming influencers and wanting to be influencers. And my opinion on that is the people who actually have the most influence on social media,
the people are not trying.
they weren't trying.
They're not trying to have
They're
influence.
just who they are.
Yeah.
They're just sharing who they are. Now, I'm sure if you ever step into the role of actual influencer where you get paid to do different things, and I'm sure you have to run it more like a job. Therefore, you have to post, do all kinds of things, kind of even like you do with your social media from a real estate perspective. If you didn't
But
post,
I ain't getting paid
no,
from social media.
not from social media, but it has an end result of that different situation. But you asked in the last episode about people. Do I think that there's people who just put out posts so that they're hoping that it'll go viral? 100%. I do. But I think they're going to be more successful when they do it from an authentic self level. I think they're going to be much more successful. You've had a couple of things that have gone viral. I had a couple things over the years before even viral was a word that's gone off. Do you remember when we had Lottie Dot and Lori put up that picture of Disney World, and it was like a mom, and it was like a picture, and it was like a kid or something beside her, and the mom had her shirt on that says she didn't know what she's going to Disney or whatever. That joker, I remember we were so excited that it had like however many interactions, and I don't remember. That was like in 2012. Lori could probably remember it because it's like the first thing she was doing our social media then. It was the first thing she'd ever done that had just hit like that, and viral wasn't a word. Mm-hmm. But it was an authentic post. It was something like genuinely, like we were all heartfelt in the moment, excited about that. And I think that's why people interacted with it, because it sparked something in them that was a core memory or something that was a want in their life or something, a desire, and it made you want to interact with it. But not everyone wants to hear ramblings.
Well, I think a lot of times, too, in today's society, that personal connection is gone. There are so many times that I'll do a middle school expo or something talking about real estate, and the kids, they don't know how to talk. And so I think when they are scrolling TikTok or Facebook or whatever, and they see someone talking about whatever they're interested in, and they're being authentic and transparent about it, and don't have the cameras and microphones and lights and all that, then it's very non-produced, but they're being authentic. I think that's what is attractive. I think that's what is attracting others to
I think
follow.
That causes people to be influential.
Drew and I were just talking yesterday about someone that I know in real estate, and she literally just has her camera on, just taking it around by herself. And the look and feel and all that is like I'm right there with her. I'm in this home tour right with her. And I think sometimes people can think the produced videos and produced content is what they need, but that's not what really people are going after.
So my favorite TikToker, again, I told you in the last episode, was Katie Van Slyke. Half of her content is, probably over half of her content is her with her phone, like you just said. The other part, she does have a team as well that will, professionally produce content for her. And then she has YouTube as well, so on and so forth. I only watch her on Instagram and TikTok. But, I mean, like, it's just being authentic. it's just being, and sometimes like she's got horse snot or whatever on her, like it's not even polished in any way, shape, or form, but she's real. She's not trying to, I don't know if she's trying to be fake or not. It comes across as if she's very authentic. And that's relatable to me. And she's teaching me things along the way. Therefore, she's giving me value, which is why I keep going back to watch her stuff. And I think a lot of people just want to throw stuff out on social media for that attention or that wow factor, just like the true crime situation. We talked about that before a couple of podcasts ago. I like to follow those things, especially when they're close to home, but I'm very cautious on what I share because I don't want to share misleading information that may not be authentic. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people don't take that time to do that. They want to present to the world that there's this perfection or that their life is like this. And when you meet them in person,
or they know everything about a certain subject, even though they've been a real estate agent only a year and a half and they don't know about everything.
Well, I wasn't. I don't even know what you're talking about. But okay. Anyway.
I'm not going off on a tangent or anybody, but
move on.
That's the other part.
My point
is social media. You can truly be whoever you want to be on social media.
But you should be who you are.
You should be who you are. That was what I was going to say.
Yes.
Is social media gives you the platform to be whoever you want to portray.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard because I'm a very transparent. I do try to keep my opinions to myself a lot of times, but I'm a very transparent. Now I'm gonna call you out if you're not being your true self. Mm-hmm. It's very hard, and you're trying to teach me sometimes it just don't have to be said.
It don't matter.
And
just let it go.
I've got a very hard time when I see these other people on social media and they're totally different than who I know in life.
Yeah.
And I've got a real problem with that. But on the flip side, that is also why their social media doesn't do anything. Is because they're not being authentic and transparent. And
when people meet them in real life, they're let down because it doesn't help on the back end. Their social media might look like it's successful, but on the back end, life isn't successful. We have a friend that's my friend through Facebook, and she actually took a picture of herself the other day. It was a selfie, and it was really pretty. And she made the comment that her younger daughter had said, "Hey, Mom, put it through this app, and we can basically clean it up, filter it up." And the end result after that cleaning up of that photo, she looked like she was 20 years old, but she was still beautiful in the original photo. And she was like, "I told my daughter, I don't want to be this younger version polished picture. I need to be this way because when people see me in the grocery store, they need to know I am who I am."
Yeah.
And so, this is who I am. I'm not
Y'all
this
ain't going to know
person.
who anybody is in about 10 years because they're going to be so filtered up.
Yes.
You're going to see them in the grocery store and be like, "Who are you?"
Now, don't get me wrong. I love a good angle. Whenever Joe takes pictures of me, he is notorious, y'all. He's notorious of taking pictures like this or like this. And I'm like, we don't do that. No, we at least hold it up here. So, there's that. Angles are a thing. But I don't use filters.
Yeah.
Because, it's not being authentic. So anyway.
Tell me if you agree with this. Drew and I were talking the other day. We were doing some planning and social media planning. Mm-hmm. And so we were going through our major social medias that we use as me personally and a team. So it's Facebook, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, TikTok, and now we're getting into YouTube. So, and I don't even look at YouTube as social media. I look at YouTube as almost it is a search engine, but it's a education platform. I don't really know. But anyways, so I explained it to Drew this way and see if you agree. I was, especially in the real estate category, Facebook is like a billboard. You got to have Facebook there. Got to have that billboard there if you're trying to sell your service. You're not going to get calls directly off of that post. Just like you're not going to get calls directly off of the billboard if you're in real estate. There are businesses that do get calls directly off billboards, but real estate I don't think is one. But it's them seeing it over and over and over,
Yeah.
that billboard, passing that billboard every single day, going to work.
Yeah.
And so Facebook is, if they're thinking about selling a house or they think about buying a house and they see my billboard on I-20 and then they go to Facebook and they see, oh, Joe's still doing real estate. I need to call him. Mm-hmm. You agree with that?
Yes.
So Instagram is more of, I still do post content from Facebook to Instagram, but then also in my Instagram stories is where you see a lot more personal
Yeah.
things. Like, do you scroll Instagram? I don't
I
either.
really don't.
Do you go through stories though?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So Instagram stories is like,
And I do
your
a lot of
personal
reels
stuff.
on Instagram too.
Like, your
Like I
personal,
watch them.
a day at the beach. Like,
Yeah.
Instagram is probably more of
Your
in the
snippets of
moment.
your real life.
More of in the
Yeah.
moment too. Like
Yeah.
if I'm going to lunch and we're having a really good lunch, I'm gonna throw it on my
Insta,
stories.
which would make sense. Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it on my stories
Mm-hmm.
at that time because it's literally like a throw and go.
Yeah.
And then TikTok is, I still put the same piece that I put on Facebook, Instagram on my TikTok, but you may find some other things on TikTok, like would you rather
Right.
questions and like more of a not so serious. Some TikToks can be serious,
Playful. More fun.
but it's more fun, more of show your personality.
right.
Do you agree with all that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you change any of that?
I personally think Instagram and TikTok are pretty much neck and neck as far as what you do with them. Just two totally different audiences. I kind of feel like on TikTok you kind of have to be a little bit of both because there is not as many parameters on it, and it's wide open and it's worldwide. So, and you can see stuff. Okay, all right. Here's an example. I know we got to wrap this up, but on Instagram, if you do scroll a feed or you do scroll stories, there are people that you follow. On TikTok, you have the For
The
You.
Wild Wild West.
You
on
have the For You
TikTok.
page, and you may follow them or not. Or, it's really about your interest. So I feel like, it's more like, I don't know, kind of a little bit of both. But I would say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all you want to say about social media? So
Yeah, really.
basically, like, if you're
Just-
going to be on social media, be authentic,
Just
be transparent,
Be yourself.
Don't
'cause-
post going to the bathroom.
Oh, Paul.
But,
please don't.
don't be that authentic.
And-
But
and please,
it just
yeah.
doesn't have to be the polished,
No, it does not be polished.
filtered
Yes.
everything. Like,
Just be real.
just be real.
Be who you are, which is enough because people are already following you on those platforms
Yeah.
because they already like you.
Yeah.
They didn't follow you because you were something you're not. So,
I think what is really, really cool, and then I know we got to go, is that Kessler, one of our twins, he does a phenomenal job with his social media, but he has started and continued his social media totally faceless.
yeah, people don't know that he's.
So
Yeah.
I love that he has started and has continued and has grown his social media
Yeah.
totally faceless. I think that's intriguing.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So awesome. So that's going to wrap up this episode of
The
Gather and Place podcast. I'm excited for next week's episode. So y'all come back and check us out then.